And welcome in, welcome in. It is going down. It's Wake Up 502 After Dark Miami Preview Edition. Joined as always, I am Raashaan Myers here with the architect himself and card carrying Miami Hurricanes fan. As you can see, which is going to make this a very awkward conversation for everybody involved. Haven Harrington, Haven, how you doing, brother?
What's up, dog? My favorite game of the year.
My your favorite game every year. You are, like I said, a card carrying Miami fan. So I have to listen to the Miami rhetoric all year long. And then Haven has to come in here and do his analysis. So you're going to annoy all the Louisville fans today, I think, Haven.
And you know what? It's my two favorite teams going at it.
Fair, fair.
And
Well,
in this game, I'm in a win-win situation.
you are. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. You can't go
You
wrong
should
with
be
it.
in
I
a
mean,
lose-lose situation.
that's fair.
Can't believe this. My two favorite teams, and they play each other every year in their same conference.
It's crazy, isn't it, Roman?
Shame, Haven.
It is
You
what it
want
is.
Miami? You probably want Miami to win.
He probably, you know what? I won't even call him out and even ask him like who he wants to win the game. But
Actually, in this game, I'm indifferent.
okay, okay, that's
We'll have
one
to
way
hear
to
about
play.
why.
Roman Kelly's in the building as well. Roman, yeah. You were not with us for the last After Dark, but how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Excited to be in here. Excited to be talking about a little bit of Louisville versus Miami and how we're going to get the job done, Raashaan, and upset Haven.
Absolutely, yes. It's all about upsetting Haven today. I like that. I like that as the tagline for the week. How's the knee doing, man? You doing all right with the rehab?
Doing great. Doing great. It's getting stronger day by day. I'm doing things I couldn't do just a few days ago, which feels great, like walk down steps normally. So, we're getting there.
Cool. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. So, all right, fellas. So let me ask you this, and then y'all can go on that. I might have to step away for just a hot little second, but let me ask you all this. First of all,
Yes.
give me your initial thoughts and feelings. Like as this week has gone, we've been through a bye week. We've washed out the taste of. We know what happened with UVA 2 weeks ago. How has your feelings changed from when UVA just completed to how you're feeling now, moving forward, getting ready for Miami just a couple days out?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling slowly but surely better by better day by day. And when I say that with as much hope and confidence just about any team can really have going into, you know, a game against the most complete team in the country. Haven, any team would be worried about this game right now, going into Miami on their home field with the way that they're playing. So, I'm not going to be mad at any Louisville fans for feeling not optimistic, not confident about Louisville's chances at going and getting a victory. I'm not saying that it's very likely that we're going to go and get a victory. But what I will say is I have seen us at times this season play at a level where if you can do that for the entirety of a game and not shoot yourself in the foot, slap yourself in the back of the head, and slip on a banana, then
Yeah, it's been a whole
you
lot of this
should you
Louisville
should
team.
you should be able to play with this Miami team.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of this Louisville team not to shoot themselves in the foot.
It's not hard. It's not hard. You take care of the football. That's
Like you
it.
wouldn't think.
Take care of the football.
It's like you wouldn't think it wouldn't be hard. But have they played a game yet this season where they haven't had one quarter where you're like, what the fuck?
They've had that in every single game this season.
I mean, like even against EKU, like you had a pick six, two back-to-back interceptions. It was just EKU. They just couldn't do nothing with it. We tried to give the game to JMU. JMU didn't want the game. They gave it back to us and was like, "Here, you take it."
Still covered.
we did. We did. Bowling Green. was probably our most complete game. And even then, we had stretches where you kind of like,
You're right.
and
Needless
then
to say,
Pitt.
I do think because
I
of
mean,
that,
like Pitt brought it, but Pitt just couldn't stop turning the ball over.
yeah. And
I mean, they just
Virginia,
gave offense a
Virginia,
chance.
outside of those two turnovers and that muffed snap, that messed up snap on the field goal, which is 3 boneheaded mistakes, that we outplayed Virginia, did we not?
But here's the thing: like you outplayed Virginia, but you gave them 17 points. You literally gifted them 17 points. It's hard to win when you give somebody 17 points. And the fact we're still in the game, the fact the game with the overtime just lets you know just how much we outplayed them, but also lets you know how much we just stabbed ourselves. We just kept shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, that's fair. I also have seen us play in every one of these games, at every position group, special teams, defense in pretty much every game, the pass game, and a few of these drives that we've seen against Pitt and Virginia where it looked like there was nothing they could do to stop Miller Moss from getting the ball to the spots where he wanted to get it to. When it was clear cut, get the ball out quick, negate the offensive line's ability, kind of pass plays, right? And I still do think that Miller Moss, these receivers, the tight ends, the running backs, if you can get Keywan, Keywan looked good against Pitt. If you
Well,
can
the thing
get
is, like,
Keywan healthy, I
well,
think you should be able to add all the pieces you've had, be good. Colin Lacey in the return game, get the defense playing right, get the defense maybe force them to turnover or two, and then the pass game, making it simple, concise, complete passes in the short passing game, getting the ball out quick, and the run game just go and get you a few yards. If you can just go and get us a few yards every time we try to run, I'm not saying a few. If Keywan Brown go out there and get us 2 or 3 yards, Isaac Brown can go out there and get us 2 or 3 yards, I'm not worried about us opening up for that big run because I know if everything else goes how we've seen it go when it's gone well without the mistakes, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to get ourselves in a position to score points because the defense is going to give you a platform. The defense is going to force a few punts, right? Defense is going to get some deflections, force some long pass plays, and get off the field. What are you going to do with that? And it's a matter of really the offensive line having to improve. It's that simple. You don't have a chance if it
well,
doesn't improve just a little bit.
well, the issue with this team, especially offensively, we start there. Besides offensive line issues, is the injury to running back has just really made us a one-dimensional team. And to me, I know we like to key on Isaac Brown, but I think the biggest injury is actually Keywan Brown and not Isaac Brown to the running game. And that's because of the running
That's a
staff.
hot take right there.
It is a hot take, right? But the reason being, and hear me out, is that with the offensive line being just horrible at run blocking, it it matches Isaac Brown's style better because he's a bigger back and he can just physically push the line and push ahead. Where Isaac and Duke are like they're like scat backs really. They're smallest guys, they're really quick, they need a crease to go. Keywan is big enough, he can kind of make a crease, if that makes sense.
It
And the
does. Yeah, I
times
get
he's
what
been
you're
in the
saying.
game, he's getting more yardage per carry only because he's just a bigger style, bruising style back. And it's just easy for him like to make lanes where there are no lanes. Like those two big runs that before Isaac got hurt, he broke off against EKU and the one against JMU. The defense was there. He was able to make the guy miss that came unblocked both times. Actually, on his big touchdown runs, and with that speed, he was gone. But as far as like grinding out those plays when the lanes aren't there, he kind of gets stuffed a little bit because he just doesn't have that type of power, if you will, to go ahead and run somebody over and keep it moving. That's not his. That's not his style. He needs offensive line that can kind of get him some creases so he can go. And our offensive line this year just hasn't given any of our running backs creases. That's why I said Keywan Brown, for me, is the most important running back to this group. If the offensive line can't block any better than what they're doing, or if Jeff isn't going to call uh, any more plays where you get more offensive linemen on the field, more tight ends on the field, trying to get more hats on hat, and actually go with the like a legit, almost goal line running play to kind of get those spaces and stuff for Isaac and Duke.
So let me ask you all this. So like we've watched this Louisville team play this year. Like there's without a doubt talent on the team, right? Like we know that Louisville has playmakers. We know that Louisville has a much improved defense. We know that Louisville has a quarterback that can get the ball to his playmakers accurately. And you know that you have guys that can compete with Miami athletically. But we also know that this team has been its own worst enemy in terms of turnovers, in terms of bonehead plays, in terms of personal foul penalties and things of that nature. So, with that being the case, it's interesting because everybody's been overly apathetic about the opportunity that Louisville has to go out there and and win this game. Like I haven't felt, even though it seems like people know that Louisville has the pieces and the ability to make it happen. It seems like people have been more pessimistic about Louisville's chances today than even, when we've seen lesser teams come into these big opportunities. I've seen more optimism about it. How are you all feeling about it? I'll say this, like, I feel like if Louisville doesn't shoot themselves in the foot, I think they have a great opportunity. That's why I'm looking forward to Friday, but a lot of people are taking the stance of not even really looking forward to the game. They're just already basically just saying, oh, woe is me. We're going to lose this game. Discounting Jeff Brom's track record is, getting up for big games, discounting, what Colin Lacey, who's probably going to be the first team All-American punt returner, Chris Bell's going to be a second team All-American wide receiver at worst. I mean, this team has dudes, but even with all of that, there's a lot of pessimism around it. Like,
I
have
mean,
you all felt that?
yeah, that's because like Louisville hasn't. We watched them all season, and there's not one game where all three parts of the team have clicked at the same time. It's either defense, special teams, offense goes missing. Offense does something, special teams drops an easy field goal or something like that. It's just feeling easy because you just never see them click together. We have yet to see this team play like. I'm not going to say even a complete game. We've barely seen this team play a complete half of football, where it's just been what they look like the dominant cards that we know they can be because we know they have the dudes be dominant, right? We know they have the talent just to go out there and just dominate dudes. We just haven't seen it yet. That's what's so maddening, and that's why fans like don't have any type of security and belief in this team to get it done because deep in your heart of hearts, your thinking's like, okay, there will get some pressure on Merlin Balls, and I know he's going to throw an interception. I just don't know when he's going to throw an interception, but I know it's coming. I just don't know when it's coming. But he's going to throw this interception, and let's pray to God it's not another pick six.
Yeah, I'm with you, Raashaan. And I'm with you as well, Haven. I think that it's easy to be down on what you are envisioning. When I think, how there's when you put yourself in the place of a fan that hasn't had many reasons to look into the positives. Not saying the casual fan by any means. I'm saying the fan that's just looking at the basics, right? The team not exciting them the way that they thought they were going to. The team not offensively playing the way that they were going to. What we thought was going to be good isn't good. What we thought wasn't, isn't, right? So it's I get that there's a lot of reasons to be in that spot. There's also, I think, for me personally, that factor that we haven't seen what we thought this season was going to be. The story of this season, we haven't seen it yet. And maybe that's just the story. That means that's it. We're not going to see it. We were wrong about what the season was. And that's probably the case a little bit. We got someone we thought was going to be a potential Heisman candidate that at any given moment last year, at any given moment in the first 2 games of the season, could break off for one of those runs like it was nothing in a loaded box. Against a team like Bowling Green or EKU and JMU, both guarding to prevent him from doing his thing, and he still did his thing. So I think that when you haven't seen our most talented area be our most talented area once for a full game this season yet, you have a quarterback who's now been up and down, trials and tribulations, as much film on the negatives, on as much film on this is where it went wrong. You did this. This is what this looked like before you messed up. You've now gotten to see that, and you've gotten a bye week to get healthy. You've gotten time to address that and pinpoint it, hammer it in as much as you can with these guys. Not to mention Jeff Brom is prone to game planning good in these situations, getting his guys up for these situations and getting them to want to play hard. So I think that that's also another factor. I'm not going to, there's nothing you can pinpoint statistically with that. It's not a stat out there. Big game Brom. There's no big game winning ability on your attributes as a coach when you're, building in a video game or something, right? So
James Franklin like to disagree with you on that.
There is something to be said about, but at the end of the day, I think that it's your ability to game plan in depth and pay attention to details. Like that's all it comes down to. And then how energized can you get your team? How ready to play can you get your team? How badly can you make your team want to go beat those other guys?
I think most Louisville fans, like, they're not worried about if the team gets up or if they're excited.
Well, that's part of the case with the offensive line. But when you also do get up for it, though, Haven, that's an added factor. That momentum you're able to have, especially on the road. It's like, wait a minute, we can beat this team. Wait a minute, we're playing harder than them. That does something. That's contagious.
Yeah,
it is contagious. But I don't know. To me, this team is just maddening. It just make want to pull your own teeth out because, like, you see all the talent. And the talent's there. You just refuse to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
This year has been one of the most annoying football seasons that I've ever been a part of when it comes to Louisville football. Because before the season, pretty much everybody took this year as kind of a blah year. Like I said, I heard a lot of 8-4. I heard a lot of 9-3. I heard a lot of, Louisville's just going to be okay. That this isn't anything to get too excited about. But then as soon as the season started, people griped and complained about everything and every little thing. And even though Louisville was winning games, nobody was happy, and everybody was just upset and saying, well, this isn't good enough to beat Miami. And it's like, I didn't even think you all were getting worried about thinking about Louisville competing with Miami. But it's been a constant complaint. Like, this has been the 1 year in Louisville football. I haven't even been able – Louisville's 4-1, and I have not been able to enjoy this season at all. Like, I understand that the team has not been playing perfect, but you know what? Every season is its own journey, and the team has been winning games. They should have beat Virginia. Like, if you don't have 2 boneheaded turnovers, you win that game by probably double figures. It didn't end up happening, but it is what it is. Like, there have been much, much worse Louisville seasons than this year, and Louisville's still on track to pretty much finish exactly where everybody thought they were going to finish at in the first place. So I've never really understood just so much negativity wrapped around this team. Like, if anybody should be upset, I literally had the expectation of this team, if this team can't go 10-2 with this type of schedule, I don't know when they're going to go 10-2.
And the schedule got easier since you made that prediction.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I can understand me being upset. I haven't even been as negative as the fans have been, even though the fans didn't expect anything from this team. And that's one of the things that has made this such a non-enjoyable season. And the team is frustrating. And they do a lot of things not the way you would like them. But there's a lot of things I love about this team. Like, I love this team's defense. I love the players. I love the playmakers. I love what I'm seeing from Chris Bell. I love what I'm seeing and getting from Colin Lacey. There's a lot of good parts about it, but man, it's just Roman, have you enjoyed this football season of this season of Louisville football at all? And to me, it's been a very much like work this whole season.
I've had a lot of exciting moments. You know, the punt
Yes,
returns were huge. I wasn't really down on the team until the interception that Miller Moss threw. I
yes,
wasn't even like, I was still cool up until like after the fumble. You know, the fumble, I
yes,
wasn't even, obviously, because that's not on Miller. I everything in the first 4 games was as expected. I felt like, oh, the first quarter against Pitt was a bit unacceptable, but I didn't see anything that surprised me outside of the secondary looking like it was competent and a defensive line looking like it was going to be actually one of the top in the ACC rather than just good. You know,
yes, yes,
because we knew that these guys were kind of pretty highly rated coming in. It was just a matter of, because Caleb Lubin going to be able to do the same thing in the ACC level of play. Is West Bailey going to be able to make that transition as well? And they've done it flawlessly. So I've been surprised by the defense's consistency and how pretty much they have played complete games when that
yeah,
was their biggest issue last year, right? You didn't know what Louisville defense you were getting and how many quarters of it you were getting it for,
yes,
and how often it was going to go up and down within that, right? So uh, that's been nice when that was the biggest question mark. Can Ron English make that jump? Can him and Jeff Brom get on the same page? Can he get on the same page with his players? Can he get his players on the same page? Because it was
yeah.
never a matter of talent. It was never a matter of athleticism. We've got big guys, we've got fast guys, we've got strong guys, we've got the combo guys. Like
Yeah,
we've got it
got
all.
everything you need.
You had it all last year. So it was
Yeah,
only a matter of, can you get them to play cohesively and get them to fight for you, basically. And then also, can you tweak a few things to where it's maybe easier to understand if you have guys that do want to fight for you, right? They put an emphasis on this season's or last season's personnel. Not a lot of guys like that, maybe, or some guys maybe not like that as much as people thought. I thought that was an interesting statement, but can't be mad at him now when he looks like he's got these guys playing for him this year rather than just going out there and playing for themselves, like they kind of seemed like they were doing a little bit last year. So that's been a positive. I've enjoyed that.
yeah,
I,
definitely. No,
I, I wasn't I wasn't high on Miller Moss, so back-to-back 300 plus games, him getting all of his receivers involved, him being able to technically make every throw he's being asked to make. He's it's crazy to say he's been, I can't
Roman,
say better.
the
I can't
only
say better
time
than I
that
thought, but
the only time that
I was
Louisville has moved the
really
ball
low on him going
consistently,
into the season, fellas.
I mean, the only time that Louisville's been able to move the ball consistently has been when Miller Moss has been out there throwing dimes. Like that's Louisville's offense has looked the best when Miller Moss is out there getting it to those playmakers and letting those playmakers go to work. Period. I
The
mean,
unfortunate
that's
aspect
not
of that is just if you do that too much, he's not prone. Football will put him in positions where he's asked to do things tougher than to sit in the pocket and make throws. And if he gets asked to do those things that are tougher, like make throws out on the run, make throws with hands in his face, now all of a sudden he forgets what down it is. He forgets how far the down is. He forgets how much time's on the clock. He forgets all of this stuff and isn't prone to making the best decision. Give him just a
well.
little bit of
That's what
time,
I
Raashaan. Just a little bit of time, and he's great.
Well, the thing I told Haven on Saturday was that to me, you have to save Miller Moss from himself and you have to help out your offensive line. And the two things that Jeff Brom, to me, what we saw in the difference in a Louisville offense that looked very coherent and was moving the ball up and down the field against Virginia in the first half versus what we saw in the third quarter was that Jeff Brom got away from the quick passing game and wanted to start to do these slow developing deep pass patterns when Virginia just was not going to give that up. They were going with two deep safeties. They were not going to allow Louisville to get down the field. And for whatever reason, Brom decided that he was going to spend the third quarter trying to push the ball down the field. And Miller is unfortunately a guy that if you draw up a deep pass pattern, even if it's not there, Miller's going to try to force it there. He's going to ignore his underneath passes. He's going to ignore his dump off passes, and he's going to try to make something happen. And that makes the offensive line look bad. That makes Miller get uncomfortable in the pocket and start making bad decisions. And to me, that's where Jeff Brom has to grow and mature as a play caller to understand, look, if Virginia's going to force us to continue to just get the ball out underneath and continue to play the quick passing game, you've got to be okay with that. And I think that helps everything. If he continues to go on the 3-step drop, get the ball out of your hands, Louisville can be successful against Miami. And I think that's where we need to see growth, because I'm gonna tell you this, Roman. Like, a lot of people wanted to get on Miller Moss about the game against Virginia 2 weeks ago. I put that squarely on Jeff Brom, because I don't think Brom called a good game, especially in the second half, based on the data that he had received. The data he had received is that Virginia is getting a lot of pressure, and Miller Moss, we've seen versus Pittsburgh, does not do well when he has to hold the ball and get under duress. So why are you calling plays that hurt both of those groups? And that's where, to me, that's on Jeff Brown, man. Like, you've got to understand where this team's bread is buttered. And Haven, if they need to go to like the run and shoot style where you're getting that ball out, within 2.5 seconds, and just keep boom, 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 quick passes, and then, delay handoff, draws to the running back, whatever have you, you got to stick with that all game if that's working. I mean, you can't just force the issue, can you?
That's a Tom Brady offense once he lost all his wide receivers.
Yes.
Like once Moss was gone and Deion Branch was gone, and he had What's the Matter You playing out there in the end, and his world everything tied in, and insert white slot wide receiver. I mean, that's pretty
Wes
much
Welker or
Edelman, all those dudes, right?
Julian Edelman, yes.
Yeah, that was a Tom Brady special.
I mean, and it works. And it's worked all year.
And that's the thing is, though, what's so infuriating about this is that we literally been calling for the offense since we saw this team against EKU. We saw them against EKU, was like, this offensive line ain't hitting. You have to get some quick slants, tighten up the seam. Everything they did in the first half to move the ball is what we said we need to do all season long. They did the first half. Chris Bell was unstoppable. The man should have had like 25, 30 catches that game against Virginia, because he was always open. Always open. And why would you stop it? Like, the best play callers keep going until you stop it.
Until they stop you.
I'm going to keep on doing it until you stop it.
It worked against Pittsburgh. It worked against Virginia. It's worked against every team that Louisville's played. It worked against Bowling Green. It worked against James Madison when they went to it. But the thing is like, to me, Jeff Brom doesn't want to win that way. Like, it's like like I said, it's like he gets bored with what's working and he wants to go back to pushing the ball down the field. And it's like,
because God bless Miller Moss, and as long as that pocket's clean and he can just, like you said, 3 seconds and the ball's out, he doesn't have to read the defense. He just looks at his first receiver, second one, boom, or the slant, boom, just hit it. It's as soon as ready to go. 1, 2, 3, slant, boom. 1, 2, 3, out route, boom, whatever. He's good. What gets him, though, is if you try to move the pocket. He doesn't do well on the move.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do well with pressure. That's not his thing. He gets happy feet. He likes to dance back there if he thinks anybody's going to rush him. So and it's real simple. 1, 2, 3, boom. A nice little, going to run the ball, nice little draw. Delayed handoff. Let those guys come up the field. Delayed handoff. Let them go. And for a running game to be effective, like, we don't have to have, like, last year we were just gashing people 20, 30 yards. And this is crazy. An effective run game doesn't have to get yards per se. If you can get even 2 to 3 yards a carry, that's enough that the defense just has to respect.
Just to keep the defense honest. Just keep them honest.
Just keep defense honest. That's all you have to do, and keep dink and dunk. Like, if you look at Miller Moss's interceptions, a lot of it happens when he starts throwing 15 yards and further, when he has to hold the ball longer, and when he gets any type of pressure. A pitch is going to happen.
When he has to run and throw,
Yeah, the man cannot run and throw. That's not his thing. But I want to ask you guys this question. What do you guys think about Jeff Brom having that heart-to-heart with Miller Moss? Both those guys get emotional. And then Jeff's like, you know what? we got packages for other quarterbacks. I may or may not use it.
Hey, I'm gonna say this, and then Rome, I'll let you take it after me. But I'm just gonna say this: I don't really know what that means. If we had a heart to heart and he got emotional, I don't want to hear that my quarterback was like crying. Like I know that's petty, but
Because
I
we
just
said
think
we're gonna bring Deuce Adams in to run the ball.
I think back to Caleb Williams jumping into the stands and crying in his mama's arms when I hear that.
Hey,
And
hey, he balled. Was it Monday night?
he did ball on Monday night, but still, I don't want to see I don't want to hear about my quarterback crying, man. Like, so when I hear my coach saying he got emotional, like, why you cry? Ain't no crying in football, bro. Like, you deserve to have somebody looking at your job because you keep doing the same stupid shit over and over again. And people done told you stop doing that dumb shit since you was probably a freshman in high school. And you're still doing it as a fifth year senior.
That's
So
why he
at
got
this
benched at
point,
USC.
don't get mad, get better. You know what I mean? Like, don't get emotional. Do what the hell the coach is telling you, or sit your ass on the bench. Like, I'm sorry, Roman, am I wrong for that?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, that's
If,
all I'm saying.
however,
Yeah.
however, if it was me, I would have had this talk after the Miami game. Maybe I would. I don't know. I don't know. I hope it was the right decision. I don't. You know, the last thing you need is him. As soon as he knows that he's maybe made an errant throw or two, either it's going one or two ways, fellas. We've seen it. It's either going to have. Hopefully, that errant throw doesn't lead into a pick six and points, and it's for him. Okay, they know I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I need to change this. I need to change this, and he locks in from there after he's made those couple of mistakes. I just emotional. It got emotional because you told him you might get benched here too. I mean,
he should be used to it.
What got emotional? Like, I'd almost make more sense if it was at practice and he was screaming at him, and
Yeah, I need more clarification on that.
What I want to understand what made it emotional for him.
Probably because he was scared that
did he
my
tell him,
was
like,
going to be.
I could get Jack Plummer's weak ass to the NFL, but you're gonna fuck it up. I'm not gonna be able to get you there. It's gonna be your fault. Like, I really do wonder what Miller probably know. Like you just said, Raashaan, he knows it's bad, so it's only a matter of time before he locks in.
I mean, he's a smart dude. I know he knows it. Like he has to know that you can't look like He-Man for 2.5 quarters, and then look like Jane for like a whole quarter, and just give everything back. Yes, you threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, which is awesome.
Yeah, but you can't be
keep
trusted
throwing
by your
pick
coaching
sixes.
staff. But like I said, you can't be trusted by your coach staff. But at the end of the day, you know what, Jeff? If you can't trust him on those certain calls, then don't make those calls anymore. Don't call those plays. Like, to me, you got to help your quarterback out. Like, because this is not the first game where we've seen Miller Moss have these issues and have these throws. He had that throw, that pick six that should have been against James Madison, where the JMU guy just drops the ball. He had probably 2 other interceptions against Pittsburgh he could have thrown, but the Pittsburgh guys dropped the ball. He had like 6 passes that could have been picked off in the Virginia game, but he only, had the 1 picked off. Like, there's certain play calls and certain times where you've called plays where Miller's had to hold the ball longer, and they almost all ended in disaster. So at some point, your coach has to say either I'm going to quit calling these plays, or I'm going to have to put somebody else in if I just can't help myself and I have to call these plays. Now, me personally, I would say, you know what? Miller has done good with this set of play calls. And in this set of circumstances, keeping him in these parameters, he's been good. Let's just stick with that. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand. It's like Jeff Brown is refusing to make the adjustments based on what he's seeing. Like, A, my quarterback, doesn't make great decisions on downfield throws, and B, my offensive line can't block for more than about 3 seconds. So, yeah. So, like, and now you got Ruben Bain coming in on Friday night. So what are we going to do, Jeff? Are we still trying to throw the ball 40 yards down the field, or are we trying to win a football game?
We're going to throw a freshman out there.
Let's put Deuce out there. It's like,
and he's fast.
I mean, Deuce has had, 2 series this year? And now you're talking about putting Deuce in on the road at number 2 Miami. What are we doing?
I mean, it's just like a wildcat option. He's just going to get the ball and run.
That's what I don't want him to do. If you're bringing Deuce in, fake doing that and throw it a touch on the 5-yard line and throw a touchdown.
Well, the
Outside of
thing
that,
is, like,
don't bring Deuce out there to try to go
Hey,
beat
if
Miami's
they go with
defensive
some of
line.
that, if they go with some of that kind of ball handling, like I can either go with the shovel pass to the inside, or I'm gonna throw pitch it to the outside, or I'm gonna keep it. I personally like that with a guy like
With
Deuce
Jaleel
because
Skinner throwing an in route in front of him, lined
yes,
up with him,
yes. Like
exactly.
to me, like I like something like that. Or Colin Lacey. You send Colin Lacey on, send him in
A
motion,
little
snap the
drag route.
ball, and I can either go to Lacey with the shovel pass, or I can pitch it outside to Isaac Brown. I think that is something that could work in certain situations in short yardage. If it's say a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, I like that option.
but it
So
only works if Deuce at least runs it twice,
yeah.
and he comes in as the guy that you know is going to run it, and then he'll do some freaky stuff.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't mind changing it up, but just the fact that you're doing this just now. I mean, Haven, we called for it from the first year that Brown was
Since the
here.
EKU game.
Well, I mean, just talking about, you remember, like when when Brian Brown was the quarterback, and Petrino would give Brian that second quarter to say, you know what, I know we have a incumbent quarterback here, but we're going to get our prospective young guy some work in the second quarter of these games just to get him ready, just in case we need him. Jeff has not shown the inclination to do that. He didn't do it in year 1 with Plummer, even though Plummer was having issues. He didn't do it in year 2. With Shuck having a good season, so I can't blame him for that. But he's not done it this year with Miller Moss as well. And I mean, I just to now start talking about Deuce. I mean, maybe a Deuce is just. I mean, and does anybody think it's Brady Allen, or does everybody just think it's Deuce?
It better not be Brady Allen.
Maybe it's Mason Mims. Who knows? Maybe Mason's been balling with the practice squad. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like. I feel like, really and truthfully, honestly, I think Jeff just put it out there to just make Miami have to prepare for 2 quarterbacks. I don't think that we're even going to see Deuce in this game unless he maybe comes in for like one kind of like wildcat play.
And honestly, I don't think Miami cares.
Yeah,
because Miami plays a very basic defense. They're going to play their front 4, and they're going to rush you with just 4.
Well, and that was going to take me to my next point. So, Roman, I know that you've done some game review on Miami, and of course, we've seen some of Miami's games this year is Miami, Florida State, and we saw Miami and South Florida. We've seen this Miami team from you and what you've seen with your kind of game review of the Hurricanes. Kind of give me your thoughts, like how good, like we all know who Ruben Bain is, but to me, that Miami secondary is not locked down. Like to me, I feel like there are plays that can be had down the field if you can get past that pass rush. Are you seeing some of the same things?
They've got the one kid on the corner from Tennessee, I believe. The transfer.
Yeah, safety.
Safety. Or is it the safety?
Safety. I believe he's safety.
He's good. Outside of that, I feel like they've weirdly
like their defensive, like their cornerbacks seem like I feel like the matchup of Colin Lacey and Chris Bell, it seems like that might be something where Louisville can take advantage of those guys.
I feel like they leave a lot of cushion on the outsides. If your outside routes are intermediate routes that start outside and go in, I feel like that's where a lot of the passes I've seen in the teams that have had some success in the pass game against them have it. And it's not consistent because every defensive line is getting home more times than not. Their defensive line is getting home against every offensive line more times than not. So it's not like any quarterback's been able to eat up, chew them, pick them apart. Now, I mean, we'll get into their fourth quarter play because their fourth quarter effort level in play calling and things get weird in the fourth.
They definitely put off the gas.
That's all comes from having a lead, right? So I don't want to make that too much of an emphasis. I don't think we're going to have to. Ideally, we don't really have to deal with that. That's the way to come back. Cool, but I don't want to be up. I don't want them up. I don't want them up 23. 28-3 going into the
right
fourth
where
quarter.
We had right where they won 23 to 21 to 3. Okay, now it's our time.
Yeah, maybe at half, cool. 28-3
Right.
going into the fourth. No, that means they've shut us down for 3 quarters straight.
Yeah.
And even at that point, I couldn't be mad at what your defense has done if at 28 points over 3 quarters, really, when your offense is probably not staying out on the field at all. So, but anyway, I've seen a defensive line that gets home, Raashaan,
Yeah.
anytime they want to. The other guy's name on the other side, on the other edge, he's just as good as Ruben. It's like kind of like what's happening here at
Raashaan.
Louisville. Clev Lubin's getting all the hype. Wes
Yeah, Wes
Bailey's right
Bailey's
there
just as
with him in
good.
his ability to pressure as well. And that's kind
Yeah.
of what they've got, just a true NBA size level guys, right? And Clev Lubin and I think Wes Bailey are both, late NFL type guys in terms of the draft. In the round that they would go in, just because of their size, they've got all the ability in the world, but they're not the biggest guys in the world for their position. But I think this is a defense that in the intermediate pass game, they'll leave a cushion. They leave a weird cushion. I guess it's because they play man a lot. I don't know what's happening out there on the outside for them, but it seems like they leave a good amount of cushion for your intermediate pass game. The short pass game's a worry almost because they get their hands up on every single throw. Like every single throw, their defensive line is getting their hands up. So that's something you've got to worry for. But they've been, I can't say susceptible to the big play.
Mm-hmm.
Each team's been able to have a couple big pass plays on them, it feels like. So I should go get the official statistics on that. But this is a defense that does allow you to move the ball down the field. Now, that's if you're able to run the ball. If you're able to run the ball and get them to move their front seven out a little bit and play more of a coverage, that's when I feel like they've been a little bit easier to get down the field on. You can't say easier to beat. They haven't lost, but just feels like if they have to respect the run game, that's when they've been prone to allowing some productivity.
Yeah, it seemed like Florida State in their matchup, it seemed like Florida State was able to have some pretty good success being physical with the run game. I know that's not necessarily a strength for Louisville, but when it seemed like when Florida State went and ran right at them, they had some success with that. That's where, like you said, Haven, the fact that Kewan Brown is listed as probable on today's injury report, that's probably a good thing, even though I know Duke Watson is listed as out for the game, unfortunately.
Yeah. And sorry to interrupt you, Raashaan, but
yeah.
I think that what Florida State did, and I think that's the last, like the one factor I think in why Deuce Adams got, I can't say Deuce Adams, why there's a potential for multiple quarterbacks to be played. Tommy Castellanos, I mean, they didn't really know how to, I can't say didn't know how. They struggled with the run option. When he was keeping it or when he was giving it, they didn't guard it well. He had carried it a lot, and he had a couple really, really productive runs. So, granted, Florida State's offensive line is miles ahead of ours, it feels like. But that could be a reason other than Deuce is out there.
But the other issue with trying to throw in the whole Deuce Adams' game, because you saw Tommy Castellanos beat him with the run, and then like late in the fourth quarter, finally get some deep passes off. But Tommy's been doing that all year, so he has that dual threat kind of baked in already. No Louisville quarterback has that baked in just yet. Like nobody's going to fear Deuce Adams. Really, when he comes in, it's like, man, he's about to light us up. Yeah, nobody's thinking that, and that's one of the issues you have with kind of just throwing it out there, kind of this late in the season when you haven't shown that at all. Is that it's hard for people to, really, I'm not going to say not take Deuce seriously, because you should take everybody, seriously. And I'm sure Miami will. But, it's one of those things where, Deuce doesn't have the juices yet because he hasn't shown it.
Yeah. Well, and we got Robbie checking in. Robbie said Bobby made a living off the tight end in games like this. That is absolutely true. Hey, I tell you what,
lived off this.
Not just Bobby. I mean, Jeff Brown made a living off the tight ends in the first game. In the first time that they played down in Miami. We saw Nate Kariski get off for over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns.
And Sylvester will be coming back in his game. He played last game. He actually came back last game. But he's a little bit lighter, so he hasn't got all his weight back
Hey,
from
it's funny watching
from his injury.
Trevante Sylvester's dad like do all these reports on how Trevante's doing. It's so
He sound
funny.
like Adrian Wojnarowski talking about his son.
He's like he's really taking command of the offensive line. He's back in there. He's back starting, and it's going to be a whole completely different thing now. I'm like, oh,
I love it. I love
uh,
it.
like
But Louisville needs him
they do, they
in the
do,
worst way.
they do. So all right, so offensively, let's get to the offensive side with Miami. Roman, Carson Beck, Malachi Tony. We know those are the two guys that are getting all of the press right now. Carson Beck.
Malachi Tony going to the NFL, Raashaan.
Haven loves Carson Beck's tan. He loves his tattoos. He loves the swag, the Miami swag that he's playing with. Malachi Tony is doing, Sports Center top 10. He's this year's what's the kid from Alabama, Ryan Williams. He's like this year's darling freshman superstar. What else besides those guys? Is it just simple as we need to put Tayon Holloway on Malachi Tony and follow him everywhere and, make sure that Clev stays in Carson Beck's face? Like, we've seen Carson Beck under duress in his career, especially at Georgia. When you can get pressure on him, dude will throw up some ducks. We have not seen that version of him so far at Miami. Is it just the fact that he's surrounded by, I don't want to say more talent because dude was at Georgia, but what? Like, is this real, or is Carson Beck this new unstoppable version, or has it just been a simple fact that he hasn't really faced a defense that could put him and stress him the way he was at Georgia?
Bingo. I think that's what it is. I don't think he's had to deal with defensive lines. I don't think he's had to deal with guys that get into his face and force him to make uncomfortable throws, uncomfortable movements out of the pocket. Granted, he's been really good in his career making unorthodox plays happen.
Yeah.
When you're someone who's willing to do that, what else has happened? What else are you prone to doing?
Yeah,
throwing them things, fellas.
Yeah.
You're prone to that too. And he also had a lot of close games at Georgia, so that's what's weird. It's like, when you got to throw the ball in close games, you got to get the ball downfield. You're also more prone to being in that situation just automatically. So it's kind of a weird spot he was in at Georgia. Just to mention, I think he was a little bit of a bonehead. I think he is. I think he's a clout chaser too. I think he's fake. I think he's got a black cloud over his head. I think it's all kind of come crashing down. Cheated on his girlfriend.
It.
Not a good sign. Pulled up in that black Lamborghini in that black suit and lost last year, didn't he? Was that the thing last year?
Yeah, that's fair.
Pulled up in the Lamborghini in a black suit.
Oh, that was this year.
Was that this year?
Oh, that was this year. He got the Lambo when he got to Miami.
I thought he did something last year where he did something.
Weird.
Carson Beck. When he got to Miami, he got the Lambo. He got the Latina girlfriend. He got the tattoos and the gold chain. He went straight Miami. He went straight south.
Exactly. He's not worried about the right things, Raashaan. Yeah. That's thing thrower central. Central. When the game's on the line, the pressure's getting to you. You got Wes Bailey coming right there. You've got Clev Leuven coming right there. Malachi Tony's locked up. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to throw it to TJ Quinn. That's what you're going to do. And I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it. Now, I'm just obviously kidding, of course. Not really. I do think that he's got some bad karma coming his way, but I can't be certain that that's going to happen this Friday. But I do think that he was more prone to those mistakes because he got to see tougher defensive lines. I think defenses in the SEC obviously put him in tougher positions more often.
Hey,
and when you're in close games,
we saw him against a very good defense in Notre Dame. And that Miami offense wasn't going up and down the field like that against Notre Dame. That was a nip and tuck, low-scoring game till the end. Miami pulled it out in the fourth quarter.
I feel like they relied on Fletcher pretty heavy in that game. I can't.
Yeah, they did.
The one game I haven't gone back to really, really watch. Or no, it was Brown. They were giving it to the freshman, the new kid that they were running them both. They both had 15 carries, both had over 60 yards. So, they kind of went to the run pretty heavy in that game.
I mean, it
I
was
think that's what's interesting about him though, Raashaan, is that they have the ability to do either or. And that's what's weird. If you allow Fletcher to go and get 5 yards of carry, stay ahead of the chains on every single play, then
yeah,
you're making it easy for Carson Beck. It's
yes,
Carson Beck and Miller Moss aren't really different. I feel like Carson Beck's just been put in the platform for success. He's got all the tools he needs around him to succeed. Time in the pocket, a run game, receivers who can catch in the short passing game and make plays happen, and receivers who can make plays happen downfield. And then you've also got a couple running backs who can catch as well. Not to mention his running backs block damn well.
yeah,
They
That
do.
doesn't happen over here, which is tough. But so he's got
yeah.
literally everything he needs as someone who I believe is a knucklehead. He's a thing thrower. I can't call him
So
a system QB, but he's
I
I
mean,
got to give him his flowers. I got to give him his props because he's shown that if he has that you're going to have when you're playing at a high level, which is NFL ball, outside of a handful of teams, if you threw him in an NFL system right now, based on what I've seen this year, he has all the tools he'd be able to succeed. Right? I'm not saying as a starting level guy who's going to win you playoff games, but he clearly has the arm talent, even after the what was it, Tommy John surgery or PCL or whatever it is in your elbow
yeah, I
that
believe it
common
was some
surgery.
sort of like Tommy Johns or something like
I
that.
mean,
But
but like if you look at this Hurricanes team, the strength of this team is the trenches, the offensive line, and their defensive
and
line. Like
defensive
that's
line,
the real strength of the Miami team.
yeah,
Is that
They
they
can go
went out
get 5 yards every time in the run, and they can go shut you up in the run.
and they can block and they can pass block and they're great run blockers. Is that Miami spent a lot of their money? I know they went and got Carson Beck. They spent a lot of money on the offensive line and making sure they had those hogs up front because that's what Mario Cristobal was his Miami. He was the offensive lineman, so he knows offensive lineman. And they went made sure they had a great offensive lineman. They got a new defensive coordinator, which has made all the difference in the world
yeah,
with their team. And now they're a very balanced team. Miami is a very balanced team. Now, are they like the Miami of old when you had Gino Torretta and those guys there where they were just housing folks? That's not this Miami's offense, right? They're not, yeah, every now and then they'll test you, they try and go deep, but this isn't like the Michael Irvin days of the U when they were just literally slinging all over the field and were just unstoppable. These guys are pretty stoppable because they've got a lot more conservative this year in their play calling than they were last year with Ken Ward. So
yeah,
you can't get them. You can't get them because Miami, like Louisville, they have yet to play a full game. They have yet to play a perfect game. They've had spots in games where they look like super suspect. And like Roman pointed out, in the fourth quarter, they are prone to take their foot off the gas and start cruising in the fourth quarter. And that's a bad habit to get into because one of these days you're going to take your foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, and there's going to be an offensively potent team that can take advantage of that. And before you know it, momentum has shifted. You're struggling to get back in the game, and you lose.
yeah. Hey, to me, like if Louisville can find a way to keep this thing close into halftime, say a tie ball game like 14-14 going into halftime, and you're looking them right in the face, you put that game pressure on Miami and see if you can get them to make a mistake in like the third quarter. I think that's like where you can have an opportunity to pull that upset in Coral Gables. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Winning on first down, staying, keeping Miami in second and long, third and long. That was my analysis against Virginia. That's my analysis against Miami because if you get them in long down and distances and you are able to unleash Cleve Lubin and Wes Bailey and Renee Conga and let them get after Carson Beck, I think, like you said, Roman, I think there's opportunity there for that secondary and for those linebackers to make a play. So I think that's where this game is going to be won. It's going to be on first down. It's going to be stopping the run. It's going to be keeping Fletcher, keeping him under control. He's averaging 5.5 yards per carry. Louisville needs to make that about 2.5 yards per carry on Friday night if they want to get a win. I think that's probably the biggest path to victory. And then, of course, taking care of the football. Like you can't have the turnovers. Louisville has had a turnover. Has it been in every game this year, Haven? I think. Did they have a
Yes.
turnover against Bowling Green?
Yes. But Bowling Green's the only game they didn't turn the ball
They
over.
did. That's the only game this year where they did not have a turnover. So they have turnovers in 4 of the 5 games this year. Miller Moss has thrown a pick 6 in 4 of the 5 games this year. Like that's an unbelievable stat that the dude has literally thrown for a defensive touchdown in 4 of the 5 games.
He's
But
accurate. What can we
uh,
say?
he's consistent. But like that right there, I think those are going to be the biggest keys to victory. It's just I think if Louisville can just stay solid, if you can get that game pressure into the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter, I think this Miami team could end up shooting themselves in the foot. But you got to just maintain balance. Throw the ball away if you need to. If you need to punt the ball. You have a good defense. Trust in your defense. Just don't make any stupid mistakes. And if you do that, you're going to have a shot because I think you got the playmakers to make it happen. Hey, fellas, so let's go ahead. Let's get, I know we're coming up on an hour. Let's go ahead. Let's get predictions on the game. Roman Kelly, I'm going to let you go first. I'm not, Haven Harrison, I should make you go last since you're a Miami. No, you know what? No, let's let the Miami dude go first, and then the real Louisville fans will go second and third. So Haven, go
Wow.
ahead. The
I'm not a
floor is
Louisville
yours.
fan.
The real Louisville fans are over here.
What you mean? I'm a I'm an OG. Look, I was a Louisville fan before either of you guys were Louisville football
That's
fans.
probably true. That's
Probably,
definitely
yes.
true for
Probably.
Roman.
I remember
Wasn't
going down to
alive yet.
original Orange
Yeah.
Bowl to watch Howard Snellenberg and the Cardinals play Miami.
That's fair. That is fair. That is fair. Fine, Haven Harrington. So give me your prediction. Give me how you think it's going to go. Give me your keys to the game. Give me a final score. And get player of the game. All that good stuff.
All right, keys to the game. It's very simple. Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. You probably win the game. It's literally probably that simple. Don't turn the ball over. Get one turnover yourself. Win the turnover. If you turn the ball over, at least you have to win the turnover battle. So if you turn over once, then you got to get at least two. You must win the turnover battle. Um, Other than that, I think Louisville has the advantage in special teams. We got a kicker that can kick from 57 yards out, right? We have Colin Lacey, who's a threat to break a run. Every time he gets the ball, every punt return, every kickoff return, he's a threat to running back or to put you in positive yardage. So, two big advantages right there. I think the defense, honestly, if you look at their defense and our defense, things are pushed. Miami has probably the best defense ACC. We have the second best defense ACC, like right back to back. So I think that's a push. Offense, we look at position. Honestly, if you go for their wide receivers against our wide receivers, I think we have better wide receivers, Miami. Just straight up and down. I think when healthy, we have better running backs when they're healthy, but they're not healthy. So I have to give the advantage running backs to Miami. Quarterback, you have to get advantage Miami. I mean, Beck has just been a better in the pocket than
Rock
Moss
solid.
has.
Yeah.
He's just been rock solid. I think Louisville keeps it close. I think Louisville makes a very interesting game. I think Louisville makes a very interesting game in the fourth quarter. I just don't think offensive. I think at the end of the day, our offensive line won't be able to hold up against our defensive pressure, and that's going to cause Miller Moss to get happy feet. He's going to throw a pick because I just don't think I don't think Jeff is going to do what it takes to stop Bain and them, which is like I said, bring 2 to 3 tight end sets, maybe sacrifice one of your wide receivers out there. I don't think he's ready for that just yet to do that. I'm going to say Miami 35-24.
35-24. Okay, I like it. I like it. I knew you was gonna pick Miami. That's why we went ahead and get you out of the way first. All right, Roman Kelly, what you got for me?
Keys to the game. Obviously, the first main one is going to be the same as Haven. It's take care of the football. You cannot gift the other team points. You cannot gift the other team extra possessions. You've got to make use of your possessions, hold the ball, be methodical in your drives, get into the red zone and make things happen. Don't get cute at half field on fourth down. None of that.
Oh God.
That's my main takeaway.
Please.
Main key to the game. Second key to the game, I'm sorry, is going to be playing Louisville football that we've seen this year. Play our football, and that's fast passing game, run the ball 2 or 3 yards when you can get it, right? You push to one side really heavy. You don't run the ball in the pistol every single time. You go under center and you go do whatever you have to for those 2 or 3 yards. Because then that can be the difference maker between a short yard play that you're capable of getting and a short yard play that you're not capable of getting. So I'm going to say just finding a way with Trevante Sylvester, maybe Deuce Adams, maybe a couple of different things in the Wildcat without getting crazy and without getting too insane. Some direct snap stuff maybe to other guys. Finding ways to creatively get the ball up the field without having to throw it every single time. But when you are throwing it, keeping it simple, keeping Miller Moss in a position where he can succeed, and not having to go crazy. I also asked the offensive line. I mean, blocking's effort level is, fellas, it's being on the same page with the guy next to you and having high effort level. I'm going to continue to say that. You've had time off, you've had the film, you should have even more understanding than you've had any point in this season with the guy next to you. You know, I expect Pete Niger, Trevante Sylvester, get these guys on the same page and let's see some improvement in the run game. And go force on the defensive end, just keep doing what you're doing. Do what you have been doing. Ron English, play clean football. Get this team in you know, in the situational football. It hasn't been good this year. In situational football, we've given up some big plays. 3rd and 2, allowing 16-yard runs, right? And to before you're getting in the field position, you know, right? And a couple plays against Virginia were perfect defense for 3 plays, 3 or 4 plays in a row, and then on the most important play of the drive, they're allowing a 5-6 yard gain on a 2-yard play, right? You just can't have any of that. You've got to be smart in the situational football. You've got to make sure you're running different stuff and not being predictable. That's kind of all of where I'm at with the keys to the game. I think for my score prediction, I think if Louisville wants a chance at winning this game, it really has to go under. So I don't know what I'm thinking with that. I know it's not typically how it goes when Louisville matches up with teams that are better than them. You typically know that Jeff's going to find a way to give his offense the advantage. Right now, I think you've got to find a way to give the defense an advantage, and that's going to mean keeping your offense out there as long as possible. And then our defense is doing what it does. Get your arms up when Carson Beck throws the ball early, right? Now he's throwing it a little bit higher. He's doing things a little bit off target. He's putting things far in front of people because of that. You know, you can get a quarterback off his game early with that. I think that would be nice to see the defense do, just like you did against Eli Holstein early in that game. So, and against Chandler Morris, if I'm being honest, we've done a good job of the defensive line establishing our ground defensively and not just letting quarterbacks go and do whatever they want right over their head. So that's kind of the first key point defensively. But if you can get a turnover, if you can force a turnover, you know, Clev Lube and West Bailey get in the pocket, get in Carson Beck's face, and let your secondary do the rest. I do think they have the ability to do so. Score prediction, though, I'm going to say 28-24.
Okay.
28-24. I think we can get the victory. Which actually that goes over. That means we go over, but right there barely. I'll call it a slow game throughout, but we barely do go over on the over, hit the over there.
I like it. Okay, so for me, I'll say this, fellas. I can't get over the fact that Louisville's defense only gave up 10 points to UVA and their stellar offense in regulation 2 weeks ago. That was a dominant overall defensive performance. I feel like the Louisville defense has not gotten nearly the credit that they should have for just how good they are. I think that our fans have been so focused on, you know, what they think the offense should have been, that they are ignoring the fact that Ron English is putting on a masterclass. Dude may be up for, you know, the coordinator of the year type awards. Brother man has been in his bag this year. Louisville packing that defense down to Coral Gables. Those guys and that side of the ball is my key to the game. I feel that this Louisville offense needs to play a defensive-friendly game. Now, normally when you talk about a defensive-friendly game, you're talking about running the ball, possessing the ball, shortening the game. The difference between what Louisville's going to do is they're going to go with the quick passing game, but they're going to pass the ball, but they're also going to work on the time of possession. That means quick passing, get your 5, 6, 7 yard pass completions, keep that clock rolling, possess the ball. Miller Moss, if you need to throw the ball away or if you need to take the sack and punt it back to the and let the defense go back out there, you do that. I think that Louisville's going to try to keep this score low. I want to see you've done your job if it's like 10, let's say 10-7 at the half and Miami's leading. If it's 10-7 at the half, I feel like you're in a good spot right there. But I think that
You're asking for a lot.
I think that Louisville can do that. After what they were able to do with the Virginia team that has consistently and methodically marched the ball up and down the field on everybody, they didn't get nothing against U of L's defense. That was for as good as that Virginia offense has been, I don't think Miami, in terms of constant execution. They may have better athletes and they may have more explosive guys, but in terms of consistently being able to methodically march the ball up and down the field, Miami tends to win on a lot of big explosives. And Louisville's not really been giving up explosives this year. Like they haven't really done much of that at all. And I think if they can continue to do that, Miami, I think they could get impatient and they could have some things happen. So, like for me, I think it's going to be all about the defense on this one. I think that the offense needs to just play a smart game. As you guys said, don't turn it over. Let's put some game pressure on them late into the third quarter, into the fourth quarter. I want to pick Louisville to win it. Like I just as you guys were talking, I've been going back and forth between Louisville making the screw up late and Miami getting the win. I've thought, Louisville gets the big play after they keep it close and gets a close win, with Miami missing the field goal. I'm going to say, hey, this is big game Brom. This is what Jeff Brom does. He does it every year. I'm not going to start doubting him now. I'm not going to forget who this dude is. I'm going to say 2017. Louisville gets the win. Miami has a chance to kick a field goal to tie the game at the end of regulation. They miss it wide right. Cardinals go home healthy and happy.
Love it.
There we go. Hey, fellas, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I wanted to make sure we got this pregame in. Thank you to everybody for checking this out. Check it out on the podcast, on the replay. Let's go Cards. Let's get this thing done in South Beach. Haven Harrington, thank you very much. Roman Kelly, thank you very much. Rest in peace, D'Angelo, one of the best to ever do it. Go Cards, go Krogan, like we always say, without struggle.
That boy's good. That boy's good. Player of the week prediction, fellas. I'm going Isaac Brown.
I like it. Haven Harrington, you got one?
Kewan Brown.
I say Miller Moss. I'm going to keep saying it until he gets one, y'all. I'm going to keep saying it until he gets one. Come on, Miller. Prove me right. Prove you can still cry and get it done. Hey, thank you all. We're out. Hey, like we always say, without struggle.
Yeah, there's no progress.
Peace, y'all. Have a good one.